at home, just chilling in my own bed, in my own room. And we just left church, and Yalea was teaching, and Pastor Linda was teaching. And then all of a sudden, I get this strange phone call. I was like, honey, this bishop. That was so funny. And I was like, oh, and he put on speakerphone. I was like, oh, yeah, babe, you about to teach. It was so funny, though. And he was dying laughing. He just got the biggest kick out of it because he was like, yeah, HG, Sister Yalea got a cold, and so you got Tuesday. And I was like, and you got Wednesday. I'm like, wow. So, y'all can sit down. y'all gotta stand up for me. Linda, you might have to come up here and stand in for me, but you can sit down. So, yeah, that was funny. So in my mind, I probably didn't hear nothing else he said because I'm like, what am I going to talk about? I ain't no pastor. I ain't no evangelist. Like, so all I can do, I can give y'all my testimony. I can just speak from experience. I hate coming behind my babe because he shut it down. So I'm gonna steal one of your scriptures from last night. Is that cool, babe? That was yeah. So, but I do want to wait. I was hoping that it would be more kids here. So I kind of, hi, Sister Barlow. So yeah, I did want to wait for a few more kids to come, but just because there are some things I want to talk about in regards to kids, so it'll help the adults too, I hope. But you know how I am when it comes to the kids. But I don't see none. Cute. I need you, baby. Jackson, yeah, Jackson. Yeah, Jackson mama. Oh, Caleb. I got a couple of y'all. Emma. Yeah. Where y'all mom and dad? Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm going to need that baby. So, okay. Well, anyway, so I really wanted some more kids to be here, but that's okay. Because what I wanted to do is I wanted the kids to get with their parent, like real quick. I wanted each kid to go to their parent and just give them some love. Whether it's a hug, I don't care, fist bump, high five, whatever it is, that I wanted, that's what I wanted my kids to do. And I don't have that many kids, but I do have Jackson and Coco, so you can go. And your dad's back there too. Samaria, yeah, you can go. Your mom upstairs, you can go too. Hurry up, because, y'all can stall, because maybe some more kids will show up. Q, give mommy kisses, baby. Brandon, tell the baby give you a high five. Huh? Oh, is Lana not here? Oh, that's right. Dang. Okay, where Kobe at? Well, whenever they get here, they're going to do it. Yeah, that's all. Okay. And so, oh, y'all so cute. So the reason why I wanted to do that is because I want our kids to really, like, not just do that because I ask you to, but I really want you to do that and try to do that on a daily basis, and not take your parents for granted. Like,
Amen.
not,
Amen.
because they make so many sacrifices for that you don't even know of on a daily basis.
Right.
When it comes to paying bills, like, oh, you got lights. Oh, here come Trey. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Here they all come.
Yeah.
Shimon, come here. Paku, come here for a minute. Trey John, I need y'all. It's gonna be real quick. No, bring the kids. Yeah, bring the kids.
bring,
Come on, Trey, you taking my place, cause.
bring the kids.
but I mean, it's just real easy. I just wanted. I was hoping I had more kids here. Knew I should have got here at 7:30, but. So, but no, what we was talking about is to the kids to show appreciation, and so I just wanted the kids to, like, give them a hug, tell them thank you, give them a high five, give them a fist bump, whatever, y'all kids. Yeah.
Come on,
Get
come
your
on,
baby.
guys.
Get your baby. They don't know. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, so cute. You give mommy a hug? Can I have a hug?
Yeah.
Can I have a hug too? Can I have a hug? Oh,
That's
see,
beautiful.
look, see? That's so cute. Okay, guys, that's all I want. I got. Look, I'm scrambling for kids, so thank you. That was perfect. I'll get a few more when they come in. but my whole thing was on my heart is that sometimes our young kids they take their parents for granted.
Right.
They really do. And, they don't understand the sacrifices, of course, the little ones want, but the older ones, you really have to think about every time you flush a toilet, every time you turn a light on, that costs money. Grocery store gas, back and forth to school, football, uniforms, whatever a parent does, it costs. Right. And we sometimes just think, or our kids, because mine's used to too, that it just like grows on a tree outside, you just go pull it. Like, you don't think about the hard work that goes into it. So that was just kind of on my heart. And another thing is the love of a parent. You can't take the love of a parent for granted, okay? Right. Because there are so many kids that don't have that. Whether it's one parent or two, whether it's a grandmother, whether it's a guardian, whoever that parent is, you have to appreciate and thank God for that. Because it's so many kids in the world. Me and Keith went to an event, a foster care event, and it was heartbreaking to see the number of foster. It was a fun day for them, but it was hundreds of them. It was just hundreds of them. And you know me, I gotta know, like, is this temporary? Did they lose their rights? And these kids, that moment was they was having fun in that moment, but their life is real. They don't go home to mom and dad. You know what I'm saying? And some of them go home to people that don't even really love them. Right. Some of them go home to people just who's getting paid off of them. Yeah. And so I just don't like ungratefulness, and I mean, and sometimes we just get lax. Adults, we do too. But I really, really want you kids to focus on that, because we have a friend that very recently lost their dad, just like that. They left, he went to the grocery store, they came back, and he was dead. And so now I have the mom, who's a good friend of mine, like, I'm the only grandparent left, grieving. The father's gone, the kids don't know how to act. The daughter wasn't speaking to the dad for months, till about a week before he died. And now they are in this, it's terrible. And the way he died is even worse than the kids know. But I'm just saying, we cannot take life for granted like that. It ain't no guarantee that y'all gonna walk in here and see me next week. You ain't gonna walk in here and see you don't know from week to week, from day to day, who you gonna walk in. We take everything for granted. And I can be holding this mic today, But next week, I could be in a casket. And so that's how and I'm not saying I want you to focus on the negative, but it makes you more grateful and more appreciative when you walk in the house and see your mom, in there cooking or doing whatever. It just kind of makes you more appreciative, right? So that's what I want y'all. And y'all young, but y'all ain't too young to grasp that. Y'all just think like that, okay? And the reason why I do this, so, oops, sorry. I'm glad that wasn't my finger. But the reason why I really get like this, now I'm not going to talk about my dad, okay? Because y'all already know about my dad.
That's all right, yeah.
Like my daddy thought I was like Miss America, okay? Like,
yeah, you are.
my daddy loved me. And everybody know my daddy loved me, so I ain't going to spend a lot of time on him because them are different tiers. But I'm just going to talk about me. I do not know what it is like to feel the love of a mother. I don't know. And I had a mother now, and I'm going to say this. She didn't beat me. She fed me. You can tell. But she just didn't really like me like that from birth. And a lot of it was because, so I'm going to jump forward. I wrestled with that for years. And so one day I was just so mad because she did something that made me so mad. And it seems so petty, but when you have always been kind of like the black sheep, shunned, like that was just me, right? But my brother, Tony, don't just shut up, Tony, because I know you're going to listen to this. Tony was a favorite, and my sister Vanessa were her two favorites, right? So I got to hear all the stories about my sister Vanessa, and people used to stop me on the street, and because she was so beautiful, just to tell me how beautiful she was. And I was like, oh, wow. And I'm waiting for my story. And I never got a story. My brother Tony, that was just her favorite. Them was her favorites. And it hurt. I was always the one, if my sister was an 8, I was a 10. You know what I'm saying? If I was a 10, she was a 12. So I was always, you can't fit that in the store loud. And parents, please don't do that to your kids. That is another thing I wanted to talk about. I remember so many things that my mom said to me as a kid, out loud. Like, we stand there, I'm like this, sissy. You can't fit in a store. I was always like that. And, and even when I was really skinny and cute, y'all, I didn't even enjoy that because all my life I thought I was fat. Now I'm fat. See, it is what it is. But but I didn't enjoy being skinny because all along I was fat because my sister was always skinnier than me. And that stuff hurts. It really hurts. And when you have to relive it, and it kind of made me, like, I really worked hard to not be that mom. And I really worked extra hard to not be that grandma. Because I always say, be careful what you say to your kids. Be careful, jokes. Because you never know what one joke ain't going to be funny. Like, we can laugh about it, but that kid might be like, dang, that's messed up. That was me, okay? And this one year, so my twins was born on my brother Tony's birthday. So I'm like, okay, good, I'm going to get some love here. Why? Because my twins got the same birthday as your baby. No. They was 5 years old, and I was like, hey, sissy, can we put Tony, Ray Aron's name on, Tony's cake? And she was like, no. Like, nothing was good enough for me. And so I was like, dang. So I don't have one picture of my mom holding me as a baby, not one. I never even saw a baby picture of myself until my mom died. So when I did find the baby picture, because my stepdad, he didn't know, Jeff, he was like, oh, you got to come over and get these baby pictures of you. And I was like so excited. I couldn't wait to get this picture. I'm like, I'm finally going to see a baby. I've never seen a baby picture of myself. And so I'm just all excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, ooh, where's that? Was I cute? And I pull out this picture of me. And I probably wasn't the cutest, but it was still me, right?
Yeah.
And so I look at it, I'm like, and I'm staring at it. Like, oh my gosh, a baby picture. And I gotta be, 52 or something when Sissy died, 53? Like, I'm old. Never seen a baby picture of myself. And I was so excited to see it. And so then I'm like, oh, I want to read. Like, what did she put on the back? Like, first steps, and this is her on her, and I think in this picture I'm like 2. And I turn it over, and I'm like, wow. And this is what it said. And y'all could look at me. Y'all could, here it goes. Y'all could look at it. Here, come here. Yeah, I want you to let them look at it. Yeah, you can take it out. But this is what hurt me to this day. So I read the back of the picture, and it says, so my name used to be Valisa, but that's a long story. But it used to be Valisa, but now it's Lisa, okay? Because my mom didn't do the birth certificate right. But anyway, on the back, it says, this is Valisa. Now I'm 2. She don't look too bad. Her looks might improve with age. And that's what was on the back of my baby picture. I was probably 2. And that took me back so many years because I always felt that as a kid. I always felt that. And I'm like, man, this is what my mom, And so I had this conversation. I sent this to Bishop after I processed it. Because when I read it, I called Keith. I'm like, babe, like, you are not going to believe what Sissy wrote on the back of my picture. And Keith, he going to be like, babe, like, he was like, honey, y'all relationship changed. That was years. I'm sure she didn't meet. Like, he's saying everything because I am having a nervous breakdown. Like, I never see my picture. Then I see it, and that's what it says. And I was just like, and it still hurts me to this day. And Bishop was like, you need to. He really wanted me to share this with Danielle, and I wish that she was here. Is she coming? Okay. But it just broke my heart, and it still does. Like, it still hurts. But,
It's okay. Come on.
It's like, I didn't ask to be here. Like, y'all did this,
Right.
and this is what I get. Like, it was my fault. And so, I had this conversation with Bishop one time. So I walked in his office, and I was like, I want to talk to you about my mom. And he stopped me, and he was like, hold up. She didn't have to keep you. She could have threw you in a trash can. She could have aborted you. So, like, in other words, don't come in here with that energy. Like, don't do that, but we can talk about it. And I was like, you're right. So I went, and we talked, and he told me something that helped me understand, but it still hurts because when you live through it, it's good to get an understanding, but, you got to know how to deal with that pain. And he told me, he said, you were born at probably a rough time in their marriage. And I'm sure that I was. And she did not like that. Now my dad, totally different. Like, and she didn't really like that I love my dad so much. But I always felt that connection with my dad, always. Yeah. Like, it was always me and daddy. I never had that connection with my mom ever in life. And I used to get so jealous, like, dang, like, what did I do? Like, why? But, I'm sure my dad did some stuff so to make my mom feel like that about, I don't know, but whatever. I understood what he said because that can happen. You pregnant, somebody's tripping. Now here comes this baby, and I can't even love you like that because of what somebody else did. So I'm saying all that to say that love of a parent for granted. because it's a whole lot of kids that don't have parents that love them. And I know that, that sometimes it hurts. Your parent makes you mad, your mom make you mad, your dad, but when they love you, and when you can feel that they love you. Now, when you don't feel that they love you, and I know that not everybody does, but I had my dad, but that didn't replace my mom. Does that make sense? Like, no matter what my dad lived for me, I'm still up here crying.
Right.
And with the best dad in the world, because that's not how it's supposed to be.
Right.
Like, you don't get to just, it's not just daddy. Like, it's you too. And my mom just didn't love me. Like, it was just always NASA and Tony. And that just, I don't know, for forever. Like, that was just my whole life. It was just always at distance. So kids, even adults, like, don't take that love of a parent for granted. Like, don't do that. Don't do it, because it's a lot of kids that really, really, really have parents that don't love them, that don't care about them, that don't care if they eat, sleep. I don't care what you do. You can stay out till 3 a.m. I don't care. You ain't got to go to school. You know what I'm saying? So even them saying, get up, do your homework, get that, that's love.
Yeah.
That is love. It don't always feel like love. Sometimes it feels like you getting on my nerve, but that's love. Because there's a whole lot of kids at your school flunking, but there's a whole lot of kids at your school who are living like that, but are still excelling, because they gonna do it for themselves. Like,
right.
You know what, Mom,
right.
You ain't got to love me like that, but I love myself. But that is a hard point to get. That is just a hard point to get to in your life. I still struggle with it every day, and I fell out with a cousin of mine because she made a remark to me one time, and she said, you always post your mom or your dad, but you never post your mom. And she knew what I went through as a kid. And I literally have not spoken to her since, because I'm like, don't do that. Don't do it. And I had a friend do that too. Like, they made a joke, man. They bought me out of pocket real bad because they made a joke. Well, yeah, when your dad died, we knew. But when your mom died, we found, like, don't do that, because I didn't do my mom. Because I will say this, nobody in this church knew the relationship between me and my mom, because of me.
Right.
Like, nobody knew. When I tell people that story about how my mom did me, they can't believe it. Like, people cannot believe it, because I didn't do that. I still was like, you my mom, Mother's Day, you my mom, I'm still going to do whatever, because you my mom. Because I got to do the right thing. But that didn't make it hurt less. Like, that hurts. It hurts, man. I'm telling you, like, because I still can't process. I still don't understand. I'll never understand it. But I had a dad, and that's all. My dad loved me. My dad loved me. I did things for my mom, like, and my dad told me, and this is the craziest thing for a father to tell you about your mom, baby, you can't buy nobody's love. And he was like, stop trying to buy, but I didn't stop. But it gave me, I'm not giving it to you but for love anymore. I'm giving it to you because you're just my mom. I'm not giving it to you to try to make you love me, because that's just not going to happen. But we are now down, like, me and Keith, he's lost his mom, I lost my mom, we both lost our dads. I still have Jeff, which is my stepdad, and he still has his stepfather. But those are the only the only parents that we have left. And kids really grasp this, adults too. Man, when you start losing parents, especially that parent that was, man, your rock, like, man, you pick up that phone and think you're going to call and you forget they gone. Like, that's real life. Stop living life as if you're going to walk in their house and they're going to be there, because you don't know what's going to be on the other side of that door. You don't know what phone call. You don't know what text message. And quit putting your phone on Do Not Disturb. That is so irritating. I can't stand that. Quit doing that. Because that is it's just so dangerous to me. I sleep with my phone on all the time. If my phone ring at 2 a.m, I got it. I've had 2 o'clock in the morning phone calls. Your dad fell. 2 o'clock in the morning, your son fell off a building.
Yeah.
If my phone is on Do Not Disturb, my son is dead.
Right. Right.
My son is dead. So y'all have to, like, don't do that. That's just a sidebar. I can't stand Do Not Disturb. But anyway, Keith did that scripture last night about disobedient kids. Can you read it? What was it? 2 Timothy, something. What was it, boo? And I ain't saying this to say y'all disobedient, but
2 Timothy, I wrote it down.
what was it, boo?
3 and
3
1.
and 1, okay.
Through 4. 2 Timothy 3, 1 through 4. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents.
And that right there, that if that's you, like, we ain't even got to go no further.
That's right.
Don't do that. Don't do that. I mean, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to do things wrong, but come back around with that. Don't be that kid. Don't be that kid. Don't be that kid. Because I'm telling you, it's going to come a day. I'm dealing with a girl right now who is dealing with so much guilt because her dad died on her. Went to the store and came back. And he gone. Never to be seen again. It doesn't matter what you do after that. It don't matter what you stand up here and say at the funeral. None of that matters. Because it's too late. They gone.
Can't hear
And
they can't hear you.
can't hear you. Don't be that. Don't be that child. I mean, I know kids aren't perfect. I did some stuff as a kid. And I think that a lot of the stuff that stupid, I hate to even think about it. I hate to even talk about it. Like, people just don't know, and they don't. And when I tell people my story, they looking at me like, yeah, I did. I shouldn't even be alive. I really shouldn't. I really should be up here looking like a crackhead. I never did drugs, but I did some stupid stuff. And I did enough to be looking real raggedy and stupid and crazy. Because I listen, don't go down that path. And if any of y'all do, that's on y'all. That's on y'all. Because y'all it's so many people in here. If I had just these people in here alone rooting for me, I'll be bad. I'm telling you. I didn't have this. We didn't have this. I didn't have it. Don't take that stuff for granted. I sent Bishop that picture when I got up the nerve to send it, because I knew his response would be exactly what I imagined it would be. So I didn't want to send it. You probably remember when I sent it to him. Oh, okay. I sent it to him, and he called me so fast. And he just was like, that's in writing. You was 2. You was 2 years old. I didn't even know at 2 that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even know what love was, but I didn't feel that connection. And he just was so, and he asked me, he said, how did you love her? How do you do that? And I did share this part with Danielle. I said, my mom got sick and she lost her memory.
Sure did.
And when she lost her memory, she loved me to death. And I can make a joke about it sometimes, but I say all the time she forgot she didn't like me. But I just became like her favorite person.
Yes,
like,
you did.
Like my phone number, like she would call me. She was just trying to give me everything. Take this, take this, take this. One time she accidentally gave me her checkbook. I'm like, Jeff, so she's giving stuff away. But she forgot. And I told Danielle that. I said, you know what? I just have to take it. I call it scraps. I took the scraps. That's the only time that my mom showed me that much love. And by then, she forgot, like her brain was like deteriorating or whatever. But even through that, like when it came down to it, like her favorites, they wasn't nowhere in sight. Like it was me, and it was Keith, and it was Jeff. Because at the end of the day, that was still my mom, you know. And it's just is what it is. And as much as it hurts, that's my mom. I'm not gonna sit here and let you die. I'm gonna do whatever I have to do, you know. And it's the most painful story to have to tell, but it's just the truth. And when I look at kids around here, and man, I'm like, y'all don't know how good y'all got it, you know. And I don't care who it is. If it's a parent, guardian, like whoever it is, let me tell you something. That scripture, when your mom and dad forsake you, and it ain't always, some of them just ain't here, some of them died, whatever it is. But God, that's the ultimate, like he's the ultimate father, the ultimate. And that's what a lot of times kept my sanity, right? And I had to just really like hold on to that. Like, okay, God, no, I know it's man, listen, this one right here. Like, I can remember, like, I graduated from high school. My mom, I can't come. I'm mad at you. She didn't come to my high school graduation. I graduated from college. She drove to Texas to go see my brother's ex-girlfriend's son, not his son, graduate. And I was so hurt, and I was talking to May Lee, and I'm like, May Lee, like my mom, she's missed both of my graduations in my life. And May Lee, she was like, you know what? I'm going to be there. I got that picture too. She was like, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be at that graduation. And she was. Like this one right here, like it's like... like this one right here, like if we get on the phone, it's ridiculous, right? Because it's like 2 and 3 hours later. But we can just talk so much about everything. But she knew everything I went through with my mom and my feelings. But even in the choir, they didn't know. They didn't know how my mom really felt. Like, I just made it look like we cool. Like, sissy, you at her? So like, but May Lee, man, listen, God will give you somebody in your life. If you want somebody to love you, God will put somebody in your life. I found so many mothers in here, like, man, Mother Ann was another one. Mother Ann she called me and Keith, boy, we was beefing this night. This is a long time ago. Keith, like, don't bring that story up. But we was beefing. And I was so mad, y'all. I got a terrible temper, y'all. I know I don't look like it. Bree want to see it so bad, but she ain't gonna never see it. But me and my babe was beefing, man, because this heifer tried it, y'all. I'm just gonna say that. I'm gonna keep it there. Oh, she tried to roll up on my back. I was like, oh, no, in church? Okay, yeah, see, we finna go there. I told Bishop, he understood. But Mother Ann caught us in this argument in the parking lot. And she pulled us to the side, and she was like, what are y'all doing? Like, what's going on? And I'm like, no, man, And she was like, baby. She calmed us down. We went home and finished the argument, but we calmed down from Mother Ann, didn't we, babe? But she called me the next morning. Still, she said, Lisa, are you okay? Do you need to go to breakfast? Do you need to talk? That was another one. Sis Mo.
Oh, yeah.
Sis Mo was our personal evangelist. And we worked together at Mutual. Me and Keith and Sis Mo all worked at Mutual. And we used to be planning them lunch dates, boy, around lunch. And I'm going, and I can't forget my Mama Rita. Mama Rita thinks she had us, okay? Like her daughters be like, Mom, you act like you pushed them out. Like Mama Rita, that's my other mama right there, boy. She got a whole bunch of sense. She was our supervisor. I didn't know she was going to be Mama Rita when she was my supervisor. So it was me, Mama Rita, Sis Mo, and so we going to go, like, I'm going to go 10 minutes late. What time you go to lunch? What time you go to lunch? And me and Keith and Sis Mo will get in that car and run the lunch, and we will always get in our quick summer. Sis Mo, man, that's another one. That is another one right there. That is a mother. So that is a mama right there, boy. She love her some Keith and Lisa, okay? So I'm just saying that even in all of that, God put people in my life to love me. Nobody ever replaces your mom, but God, and it used to hurt me, like, man, this ain't even my mom. Like, why can't you just be my mom? Why can't you be my mom? You know what I'm saying? Like, why you can just be my mom? Like, what, and it's nothing. I can't change it. That wasn't my mom. I just had to live with it and just take that love that God gave me. But that was hard. And I know that sometimes these little old stories is hard for y'all kids to listen to. But, like Keith said last night, you're going to one day remember these stories. But if it doesn't do anything else, it taught me. I'm the mother and grandmother. My mom taught me to be the mom that she wasn't, right? I knew. I was like, no. That's why, like, even my kids, like Keith to say it now, like, they grown. And Keith be like, shoot, if I say something you don't like, you'll be like, dang, honey. Like, he was like, them big old ones. And the grandkids don't. But that is because you're not going to, I don't want them to ever feel unloved. Right. I don't care how old they are. If I get a baby in here, yes, Lord, you gonna know I love you. That's right. Right, Bree? Right. That's my baby right there. Yeah. Samara, like, you gonna know. We having a sleepover, right? Yeah, we gonna do that. Because I know how it feels to be unloved. And I don't like anybody to feel that. I will go out of my way to make sure nobody feels that. I just will. It's just me. And Keith be like, honey, you cannot save the world. I'm like, I know, but I'm going to die trying. I'm going to try. I'm going to try my hardest because it's the most painful thing in the world to be unloved, especially for a child. Let me see. But let me just talk about my daddy. Well, no, let me talk to the parents. Sometimes when you have different kids are different, right? And so you look at your kids like, like, she cute, he could sing, like, what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, what's wrong with you? You ain't doing nothing, And you can't do that. No. You cannot do that. And so as parents, we have to be careful to not do that. That's right. We got to be careful to not do that. Every kid is different. Every single kid is different. Everybody learns at a different. Everybody ain't going to be an A student. If the best that you can do, if it's the best, I ain't saying because you're lazy. Like Jazz. I'm like, Jazz, you're going to have to get that. Come on, you're doing too much. Because she is brilliant. But if the best you can do is a C, I'm going to take that. But don't make one kid feel stupid because this kid is smart. Don't make jokes about your kids, dude, please. Right. Don't do that. Don't make jokes about your kids. And please, if you got some pictures, be careful what you write on the back of them pictures. Because I promise you, my mom, she didn't remember that. But you wasn't here. But what she wrote on the back of my picture was, This is Valisa. She doesn't look too bad, but maybe she'll grow into her looks or something like that. And I was just like, I ain't never wrote nothing like that on the back of my kids' baby pictures. Right. And so I say that, don't do that. Don't compare them. Whoever is smart, they smart. You find that kid's gift, whatever it is. You find something good and positive to say about that kid, because you don't want your kid to not to live on this earth and want to die. Right. Like I didn't even want to live. I had the best dad, but that just wasn't the total picture. If I ain't got mom and dad, I didn't even want to live. When Bishop talk about suicide, listen, that stayed on my mind. Then when your own mama when your own mama just basically call you ugly. You know, I thought all my little kids, Emma called me the other day talking about, I got a bone to pick with you. I said, what? She said, Ryan said you called him ugly when he was a baby. I'm like, Ryan lying. I didn't call that boy ugly. But I don't even see how a parent can do that. So be careful the stuff that you say, because it might be funny to you. You know, but it ain't funny. Like Keith called my baby a bird chest the other day. I'm like, don't be calling my baby no bird chest. Because baby Ryan think he built with his little skinny self. He be walking around like, and you going to call him a bird chest? He don't know what that is, though. So I'm like, don't do that to my baby. Don't do that to that's my baby right there. But be careful the things that you say to your kids. Just be careful. If it ain't encouraging and uplifting, yell at them, smack them if they cutting up. But jokes about looks, weight, intelligence, all of that stuff, man, that will destroy a child. Because I wanted to die because of my mom. No, you should never feel like that behind a parent that brought you in the world. I wanted to die because of my mother. Because she had oh, your sister. Oh, people used to stop me on the street to look at her. You know, oh my gosh, she was so beautiful. That's how she talked about my sister. But when it was me, I'm like, what they say about me? Like, they ain't say nothing. They didn't say nothing. And I'm like, wow. You know, like that's heavy. That stuff hurts, man. And then and this is just so me. All my life, everybody said, girl, you look just like your daddy. You look, and girl, listen, don't get me started about my daddy. My dad was my show and tell project, y'all. Listen. Daddy was going to show and tell every time there was show and tell. And he was trying to get out of it. Daddy. He's trying to sneak out the house. Daddy, hey, show and tell. He got so sick of it, but guess what? Even if he missed show and tell, he gonna come up in that classroom. I don't care if school's about to let out, 2:00. That was my show and tell. I loved my dad. And everybody used to say, you look just like your dad. And I used to just be like, really? But I didn't know my mom thought I was ugly at that. I just found out. Okay, 50. But when they say because daddy said I used to sit on his lap and say, you so pretty, daddy. Daddy, you so pretty. I loved my dad. That man, that one right there, man, I'm telling you, Tony talked about it at Daddy's funeral. He said if Lisa asked him for something, he gonna get it. He gonna call me did you get it? Well, what else do you need? And even when me and Keith got married, Keith was like, honey, please stop calling your dad. Like, you making me look real bad. Because I was just so used to everything. Oh, what? The faucet don't come on? Daddy, can you come fix the faucet? What? We got a mouse? Daddy. And he would come. He didn't look at Keith. No, he loved him some Keith. He loved him some Keith. He was crazy about Keith. But even with all that love from my dad, I still cry behind my mom. Because it's supposed to be both parents. It is. And if it ain't both parents, you take whatever parent it is. Because I don't want y'all to do you take whatever parent it is and you thank God for that parent. You thank God for that parent. I still honor my mom. I definitely still honor my mom. but it don't take away. I had to honor her over her not honoring me. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still do it on her deathbed. Because see, your favorite kids, you don't know who's gonna be the one that's there in the end. You have no idea who's gonna be. Me and Keith took care, even when it came to Keith's mom, my dad, and my mom. And his, we didn't have to take care of his other dad because he had Mom Rita. But we was always there. We ripping and running because I love elderly people, okay? And I can't sit there and watch somebody sick. I'm trying to figure out if somebody tell me today this is bothering me, man, I'm Googling it. You don't even know how much stuff I was Googling for you. I was like, Bree, tell her to call this doctor, Bree. Like, just tell her. Like, because I just hate to see people like sick and don't know, because I can find some stuff, y'all. I really should have been a doctor. I really should have been, because the doctor had to tell me at the hospital with Daddy, like, Dr. Google, I'm gonna need you to put that down, because wasn't all this. But I did tell the doctor what was wrong with my mom. I'm like, my mom don't have dementia. She had Wernicke syndrome, which is what alcoholics get, and I told her doctor that, and that is what caused her. That's why she deteriorated so fast. And at first he was like, no, that's not it. That's what alcoholics get. I said, Google it. And he called me the next day. He was like, you are 150% right. I know I am.
Right.
I know I am. Because I Google symptoms. I Google symptoms. You doing this and it? Oh, yeah, that's it. Get on your job, doctor.
Come on.
Like, man.
You knew your heart attack.
We ain't even going to talk about my heart attack. See, this is how come I know, regardless of what I went through in life, God still gave me the most beautiful outcome. And so I can be mad, I can be sad, but I'm not ungrateful. I'm so blessed.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
I really am. I'm so blessed. Like, I really am. Like this, and I know y'all just get sick of me talking about this boy right there, but this one right here, like that boy, before I was even his wife, he had a whole nother girlfriend. He was going to marry this girl. I was like, ugh, she ain't even cute. But anyway, I was young. And he was like, oh, she got a good personality. I was like, ugh. But even then, when I had Netta's dad, my daughter's dad never came to the hospital to see her. But Keith was there. He came to the hospital. He brought like teddy bears. Like, he was there. As a single mother, because we was just best friends, he would be like, do you need anything? Because he had a car, I didn't. Did you have permission to drive that car? My baby was bad, y'all. Do you need anything from the store? Like, he would just always make sure that me and Netta was taken care of. Mm-hmm. But boy, let me tell you something, y'all. I'm going to tell y'all a funny story about HG. HG was like, man, you my best friend, you my buddy. Like, hey, Netta, hi, little cute Netta, how you doing, Netta? And Keith be like, you want to go out? Yeah, me and Keith go out on a date. We go to Central Park Mall. We walk to the mall, taking pictures. And then one day I said, hey, it's always me and you. Like, think Netta could come? Think Netta might can come sometime? And he was like, this ain't no family affair. Well, I gotta tell y'all that. Lord.
Not Keith.
Yeah, he did. I was like, well, you can take me back home. He was like, bye. But he was young. He was. But my babe came with the family affair. I was like, I was so mad at him. But even in all of that, he was young. He didn't have no kids. You know what I'm saying? I had a baby. He didn't. He didn't have no kids, And I ain't trying to do all that. I'm trying to take you on a date. Better get a babysitter. but even through all of that, I mean, and it was a time that me and Keith almost wasn't, y'all. I can't even imagine my life like that. Me and Keith almost wasn't. But Keith was in my 9th grade math class. That's where I met him. And man, I went to junior prom with him. We wasn't dating. He was just my friend. And then we almost wasn't going to make it, right? Because again, I ain't got no kids. I don't know if I really want to do this thing with this little spoiled brat, because my daughter was a brat. And he just was like, I just don't know if I could do this. And so me, as a mother, I'm like, you know what? I love you to death, but this is my child right here. This is my baby. This is my baby right here. And I cannot choose you over my child. And I'm crying as I'm saying it because I do not want to lose this man. But I'm crying as I'm saying it, but I'm like, I can't, this is my baby. Because I already know what that feels like, right? I wasn't finna do that to my baby.
Right.
And when I woke up the next day, he left. He gone for real. And I was like, Netta, is Keith's car outside? Netta went to the window. She didn't care. She was like, no, Mom, he's gone. I was like, and I was so sad and hurt. I sat in the room all day crying. But I wasn't going to call him. And he left, but he had wrote me this note. Oh, my gosh. He was just waiting for me to get up and read this note. And I'm in the room crying like, okay, I guess it's over now. I guess it's just me and you little brat. And but when I finally got up and went in there, he had wrote me this letter. And he was like, you know, this is a package deal. And he was like, if this is what I have to do to have you, that's just what I got to do. He did. He wrote that. He did. He did. And we have literally been together ever since. Like 40 years, probably. That's crazy. 40 years. But he's such an amazing man. And that's why Bishop, when he talks to the young people about having the right spouse, you got to have the right spouse, because what on wedding day is so like, ooh, baby, you know, first 2 years, ooh, newlyweds and all that stuff. But honey, let me tell you something. That stuff don't last that long. Okay? What you think is the most important becoming so unimportant. Like, boy, you better go to the grocery store and you better go do some laundry, and stuff changes. Problems come up, money comes up, sickness, illness, arguments. You'll be arguing over the stupidest stuff, but it'll make you be like, I'm telling you, when he says pick the right spouse, you need to pick a spouse that ain't gonna walk away. You need to pick a spouse. I need to know that you're gonna leave. And that's how even with Netta, like, if you can't, like, honey, you ain't got no kids. You can go find somebody else that don't have no kids. You ain't got to be with me. But I can't like sacrifice my baby. So when you get into these relationships with these people, that's what he's trying to save you from. Because that stuff hurts. It hurts. It hurts to be dogged. It hurts to be rejected. It hurts to be cheated on. It hurts to be talked to like a dog. That stuff hurts. But you can't be so like, ooh, I just want to, ooh, you so cute. They all cute, boy, them first 2 years. Man. But boy, them Negroes was slick up on you like, boy, what's wrong with you? I thought you loved me. Girl. No, I like it. No. When you got to be serious, and I know y'all young, but even us older women too, we gotta like, listen, like Bishop B talking about that lonely stuff. I understand that loneliness, but man, that loneliness, you would be better off being lonely and sad than to being married and miserable. You don't want that. You do not want that life. You don't want that life. That is the most, I just see people, and when me and Keith get into it, I'll be like, man, this boy be on the phone all day. Like all day. And my kids be like, I'll be like, oh, I got to call you right back. This dad. They be like, dad just left. Right? He calling me on his way to, we be on the phone all day. It is ridiculous, but we just are so used to doing that. But when we be mad at each other, I'll be like, shoot, I ain't calling him. Shoot. And I'll be like, that boy ain't called me. Okay. And then every 5 minutes, he still ain't called. And then, I'm being so honest because my baby is so sweet, but boy, that boy, when he get mad, and me too, I ain't gonna lie, but I'll be stubborn. I'll be like, and then I'm like, oh, you gonna call him a text and be like, you can't call nobody, that's it. I'm gonna put the phone down. That phone better ring, still ain't wrong. Did you block me one day, babe? Huh? I think he did, boy, because that phone was going to voicemail quick. I'm like, I know this. Don't call me no more. I'm mad. But this one right here, y'all, when I tell you, Coco, I ain't lying, that boy blocked. Don't let that little innocent face put. I think that boy blocked me. Huh? Oh, you turned it off?
Yeah.
Well, that's just as bad. Shoot, got me blowing you up and you ain't even got the phone on. That ain't right, honey.
That was a do not disturb.
Is that what it was? I can't stand do not disturb, y'all. But anyway. But this one right here, this boy right here has prayed me through some of the most hurtful times. When my dad died, and it's crazy, both my parents died in July. My mom actually died a day before Keith's birthday. But when my dad died, I didn't know. I didn't think I was gonna make it. Right? I didn't think I was gonna make it. And God knew that day he was dying. The nurses called me for everything all day. This day they didn't call me. They was for some reason calling Davy. And I'm like, what is you calling him for? Like, and they was telling him all day, your dad is not going to make it. This is going to be it. They was keeping him updated. And Davy never called me and told me that. But when I think back about that, I was working. I wouldn't have been able to work. And I couldn't go to where he was because he was in a facility and it was COVID. So God knew, like, I'm going to have to not let this happen. And when I got off work at 4:00, they called me and told me Daddy died. I couldn't believe it. Me and Keith ran up to that home. Listen, I'm telling you, boy, you better appreciate your parents while you got them. We ran up to that home, and I was like, can I see him? And they was like, no. They said, get here before the mortuary, maybe. I got there, can I see him? They was like, no. And I was so distraught. And that guy called me about an hour later. He said, listen, I understand you have not seen your dad since June 13th, and he died at the end of July. He said, if you can get up here in the morning, I will clean him up enough for you to see him. And I'm telling you, it ain't nothing. I have never walked in the room and my dad didn't say nothing. I'm like, Daddy, you ain't gonna say nothing? Like, I could not believe it. My dad lived through survived everything, y'all. But when he died, I just, man, that was my heart. Because my daddy loved me, y'all. My daddy loved me. And I get to hear stories about it when I see people. They, like this guy named Dwayne, he'd be like, girl, I can't even bring your name up. Your dad just started skinning and grinning. Like, he loved me. And so I had that love of a parent, but then I didn't have the love of the other one. If you got the love of, man, Emma and James, man, y'all blessed, man. Jackson, you blessed, man. You blessed. Kobe, you already know. Man, y'all don't be ungrateful, man. Do not take the love of a parent for granted. Don't do it, because I didn't have it. I did not have it, and I can't get it. She gone. Don't do that. I don't care who it is, and I will keep saying that, because I know that everybody doesn't have their mother, everybody doesn't have their father. Whoever it is, let me say that and be clear. Whoever it is that shows you love, be grateful. Be grateful, because people don't have to. I took in, man, listen, when we took Daedrian in to live with us, Daedrian was a mess. And all y'all young, I'm going to talk about that too. Y'all young couples that want to be married, talk to Dada and Lex. Talk to Davion and Bree. You need to talk to some young couples that can help you with some stuff. When we took Daedrian was a mess. A mess. And I was like, as soon as he was like, and Lisa, Uncle Keith was like, no, we empty nesters. Like, I ain't, And I'm like, honey, let's just give the boy, he was you will never know it to this day unless he share it. Right. People do not have to do that. Don't nobody have to take. If you ain't theirs, they ain't got to take you. They ain't got to take you. We took Daedrian because that was our nephew. But he had a horrible temper. Yes. You would not know that. Yes. And Daedrian was really meaner to me. Okay? He didn't really necessarily fool with Uncle Keith like that. He was meaner to me because I would try to I knew he came from what he came from his mom. Right. So I tried to okay, it's going to be okay. You know what I mean? But he was really meaner to me until one day. I was like, okay, okay. And boy, he just made me snap. And and it was just, he did something, and I can't even tell you how many times that boy apologized. But that was the day. We had him for 3 years, and we was like, you got to go. You going home. But still, even when we sent him home, we ain't gonna drop you. We're going to pick you up and bring you to GYPT practice every week. We're going to bring you to church every Tuesday, but you cannot live here because you've gone too far. And that was the greatest lesson in his life. They finna be here next week, and they going to stay with us. He never, ever, ever acted like that again. Right. He apologized so many times. Me and Keith was like, dude, stop. You ain't got to say sorry no more, because he knew we did too much for you to do that. Right. And it was just too, and it wasn't the first time, but it was the worst. It was just the worst. And I was like, if we let you stay now, this is a norm. We're not doing that. But look at them today. Look at them today. That couple right there, they can give you some testimonies. They've been through it, but they are some blessed kids. Amen. I'm telling you. We took Boomer, and we took his little bad. That one didn't work. I'm like, never mind. I don't even know what I was thinking. You out of here, boy. You going back home. We tried with him, but it was just too much. But people do not have to take you in. When somebody tries to bring you in and show you love and shower you with the love that you didn't get, that you missing from this family, man, you better be happy about that. You better be doing everything that they want you to do, whatever it is, like washing dishes, clean, whatever it is, cutting grass, whatever it is, do it. Because people ain't got to love you like that. They do not have to love you like that. And I'll give anybody a chance, because I just love people. I love kids. I'll give anybody a chance, but I can only go, I will only go so far. But I think that is it. But that was my big thing. When Bishop called me, I'm like, what I'm supposed to talk about? And he's the one that gave, because I had no clue. Right. And he told me that. He was like, talk about that picture. Right. And I was like, you know what? Because he's been wanting me to share that. Right. But I just couldn't do it. He wanted me to bring it to your Sunday school class. I couldn't do it. I could not do it. But when he said that,
Beautiful.
but
That's right.
you can show him that's when I was cute, I guess. I might have been too. I was cute.
Yes.
Yeah. That's my biggest thing. I know y'all little kids, I know y'all be like, oh my gosh, I am so sick of hearing about this. We know it be going in one ear and out the other. Not all y'all, but I know some of y'all like this. But you know what? We don't care. We don't care if y'all don't want to hear it. We don't care if y'all don't like it. We gonna still say it. If it get on your nerves, just like y'all do us. Yep, we gonna keep talking about it because we want you guys to be successful, and we want you guys to succeed in life. You know, we want you guys, man, take advantage of the love and everything that you have that your parents give you. Like every time, man, you can't say thank you enough. I don't care how. What you laughing at? Oh, I don't care. I mean, every time they thank you, mom, thank you, man. I really appreciate you, man. Y'all shock y'all parents to death one day talking about, you know what? I really appreciate you. Didn't have to do this.
All right.
Y'all need to try that. Y'all need to try that. Yeah, for real. You didn't have to do this. Thank you. It does, and it don't even have to be nothing big. You know, you ain't got to wait till you get that first car. Shoot, it could be that Snickers. You know, I grabbed you a Snickers at the grocery store. Shoot, you better, mom. Thank you, mom. Like, boy, you better act like that's a Mercedes Benz.
All right.
but yeah.
You wanted those kids to go and hug them.
Oh yeah. Well, who did I miss?
Kobe,
oh yeah, Brandy. Come here, Brandy.
Kobe need to go.
Oh yeah. Okay, so y'all was late. Where'd Brandy go? Oh, she got that little baby. So y'all wasn't here when I wanted more kids to be here. So Kobe, I'm glad you're here. Tinka and Makai, and you can bring that little one too.
And Evan.
Yep, and Ava Joy. But I just wanted you guys to just show your parent, grandparent.
Myla and Evan.
Oh yeah, Evan. Yeah. Chris, your air hug. Air hug, mommy. But I just wanted you guys, so what we talked about before y'all got here was just being appreciative, and y'all heard it a couple times. But just give your mom a hug, man. Yeah. Let your mom know how you feel about her. Let your mom know that you love her.
Yeah.
Man, come on now. Y'all got some great parents, man.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all so cute. Oh, I love it. That's so cute. Oh, I love it. I love it. And even what I said earlier, guys, y'all can do that all the time. Y'all can do that every day because they deserve it every single day. My granddaughter, Jasmine, she's our oldest granddaughter. She just turned 16. She knew how I felt about my dad. And she kept saying, come get this gift. I got you a birthday gift. And I'm like, Jazz, we over somebody's house, dude. I can't leave yet. And she was like, just take the car. Just take the car. And I was like, no, me and honey, we here. I don't want to leave. And so I didn't go get it. And then earlier that next week, she was like, come get your gift. And she had bought me this gift, this locket. And she did this on her own with her own money. Wow. And on the back of that locket, she had inscribed, love you forever, daddy. Right? And on the inside, they had a picture of me and my dad. Oh, yeah. And so Jazz is all excited when I get there. And she was like, ooh, I'm about to videotape you. I want to see your reaction. Right. And we all doing all that. And I was like, okay. And I'm laughing and being goofy until I opened that. And Jazz was like, wait, don't cry because you're going to make me cry and I'm trying to record. And when I tell you, me and her was sitting out there in that car, and I had the worst day that day. I was I don't even know. I was just so sad and just crying. I called Keith and I was just like, babe, I know. And he was like, what's wrong? I don't know. And I was just crying. And he was like, honey, just calm down. I was just a mess. And I told her, I said, Jazz, you have no idea the day I had. You have no idea. Y'all have no idea. It's okay. She can show them. But y'all have no idea. Linda, leave the baby alone. Oh, okay. But I told Jasmine, I said, I had the worst day today, and she didn't even know it. She just took that upon herself, and y'all can do that. Y'all can do that. And it was the biggest blessing. And I don't even care how much she paid for it. I don't even know what she paid for it. But it was the fact that a 16-year-old child would go through all of that to bless me for my birthday. Like that, like you just can't pay for that. So I hope that I didn't bore y'all too bad. I think I'm done.
Get out of here.
Y'all better say I'm cute in them baby pictures. I ain't heard no comments. Y'all, somebody better say I'm cute. Yeah. But it was way easier for me to. Thank you. Y'all think I grew into my looks? What y'all think? My mama said maybe one day my looks might improve with age. I don't know. I don't know. As I got older, they start saying, girl, you look just like your mom. And I used to get so offended by that. I did. I used to hate for people to say that. But now, like, Keith, everybody says it now. Like, you sitting over there looking like sis. Like, people say it all the time. I'm like, how you going to call me ugly and I look like you? Like, that don't even make no sense. And then even when I saw her kid picture, I'm like, you look like me. So, anyway, let me get over that, y'all. That y'all can tell, like, that's a sore spot. That's a sore spot. If I ain't got over at 59, that thing just going to go with me. But anyway, I am done. Pastor KT. Thank you, baby. You think I was cute? You was cute.
Precious Lord, Father, and Savior in heaven. Lord, we thank you for the cutest teacher tonight. What the most beautiful woman we've ever seen. But not just outside, on the inside. And it came out tonight. And we thank you for it. Lord, we thank you because not all of us, including myself, had the love of our mothers. She had no idea while she was teaching, while she was crying. So was I. People are used to not having their dads. But when your mother forsakes you, it's a pain you can't imagine. So I thank God for what you bless Lisa to get through, because your word says, Psalm 27:10, your word says, when your mother and father forsake you, then the Lord will take you up. And that's how Lisa has become who she has become. She refused to be a parent like her mother. Refused to. And has helped all her children and everybody else's also. God supplied mothers in the sanctuary, just like he did for me. May, Mozilla, and others. I pray with all my heart and soul, Lord, that Lisa realizes she is greatly loved, not just by her husband, but by all of us here. But as much as we love her, bless her to remember that God loves her even more. We thank God for both Keith and Lisa. 2 amazing nights. We give you all praise, honor, and glory. In the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.